Hello dear viewers, my name is Nino and today we're taking a closer look at the Doogee BL5000. Now the 5000 is a phone which costs around 180 euro at the moment of making of this video, and as you unpack it, one of the really weird things you're going to notice almost immediately is the fact that there is a screen protection foil there, and this protection screen there is much smaller than the actual screen of the phone. I have no idea what they were thinking, and look at this nonsense. Of course I immediately peeled it off. I think screen protection foils are generally absolutely useless, especially phones with Gorilla Glass. Don't get me wrong, if your phone has normal glass, not tempered in any way, then they make sense. But phones with Gorilla Glass, for example, it makes absolutely no sense, because anything that is capable of scratching Gorilla Glass is going to go through a foil like it's a hot knife through butter. It's absolutely pointless. Now if we take a closer look at this phone, we're going to notice that it is a bit oval and it is a bit fatter than you would expect. With that cover over there, you're going to be at around 1 centimeter of thickness, or 10 millimeters. Doesn't sound like that much, but it is thicker than what we're used to nowadays. This is due to the 5050 milliamp battery, which will enable us to usually squeeze out around a day and a half of work with this phone. When we look at the phone's internal storage, we'll notice that we have 64 gigs, out of which 3.8 gigabytes are already taken by the OS. And the OS itself is a bit of an annoying one because it has modifications. We've seen it with other Doogee devices as well, and the modifications it ultimately has are mostly graphical, but it does have a bit of bloatware. The good thing is that Doogee offer a lot of software updates for their phones, so that's something you won't have to worry about. But if you take a look at the phone's appearance and everything else, you're going to notice that we have this hanging stuff here, which enables us to change the appearance. If we swipe left to right, we have some kind of a flipboard effect, which is a news feed of some sort. And some of this stuff can be disabled, like the hanging robot and the Google search bar, for example. But this flipboard stuff here, this news feed, you cannot disable that. The only way for you to do that is to actually change the launcher. Now the good thing here is that our fingerprint sensor is positioned right at the front of the phone, making it really comfortable to use. However, my problem is that the fingerprint sensor has an oval shape and appears to be somewhat smaller. Now I have fat fingers, as you can see, and putting my finger on this fingerprint sensor can be a pain sometimes, but usually it works. When it comes to the cameras, we're supposed to have 13 megapixel cameras at the back, and these cameras, there's supposed to be 2 of them, and I'm saying supposed because I've already had experience where Doogee just placed one fake camera next to a real one and just used the real one. I haven't had the chance to use a microscope and check if the second camera on this phone is in fact a real camera, but seeing the pictures, they are bland. I wouldn't say that they're bad necessarily, but they're okay at best. And the same goes for the front camera. Now when I tested the phone with Antutu, I got over 42,000 points, indicating that we can pretty much handle anything with this phone. You need around 24,000 to have a decent phone that can handle most things. With almost twice as much, this phone can handle pretty much everything. It is running games really fast. When it comes to this phone, in terms of productivity, it's an excellent device. It has a huge battery, which will give you additional battery life if you need it, and will hold out a little bit longer. It has a really nice 1080p screen at 5.5 inch, and ultimately the hardware with the 4 gigabytes of RAM, for example, is something that is totally worth using. At a price of around 180 euro, definitely a great deal. Ultimately, I can recommend this phone to everyone. Do you like its appearance? You have to consider that this phone, unlike some others, is actually utilizing a lot of plastic, unlike some others that use glass. The difference here, however, is that the plastic is much lighter, and due to the huge battery, you don't want also glass because the phone will feel like a stone in your hand. So that's an advantage you have to consider. Personally, I think the choice with plastic looks really nice. The phone still looks elegant, and if you need to hold it for a longer time, having plastic will mean that it won't exhaust you so fast. If you're interested in the phone, you can take a look in the description. I'll have a link to the phone there. I'd like to thank you for watching my reviews, and I hope I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.